Hello, everybody. We're just a minute before the noon hour and we have people popping in, so we'll let that continue for just a little bit. More friendly faces and names I see popping up. Wonderful to see you this Friday. I think we might be getting a little rain sprinkled around the state of North Dakota, so that's excellent news for our dry fields. Bonnie, Um, if we have less than, 10 participants, today, we could just do brief introductions as well too.
Okay.
Instead of the chat, that would be wonderful if we have a small group
Okay.
to do that. Mhm.
Sure.
Yeah,
So less than 10 or 10?
sure.
Did that make sense?
You make an executive decision there.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay. Well, let's go ahead and get rolling. This session is being recorded because we do continuing education units. For participating in today's session, we make it available online through PSAND's website after the event. So just know that it is being recorded. So, welcome everybody to the quarterly Peace and Lunch and Learn session. Excited to have you here today, and we're really excited to have our special guest, Amy Silverwood, with us today. So, look forward to getting to know her through today's session and all the information she's going to share with us and kind of tool us up as peer support specialists. So the topic for today, mental health resources by CredibleMind is the resource. And Amy, again, is our special presenter. Um, okay, I thought I was going to maybe mention something else, but I think I said it was being recorded. So let's go ahead. Bonnie?
Yeah. So my name is Bonnie Riley, and I'm going to read our purpose here. We are a statewide network dedicated to advancing peer support in North Dakota. We are peer operated and directed with a mission to help people on their journey to recovery and wellness. We promote leadership, advocacy, education, and support. So a little bit about us, we build connections. PSAND, which is Peer Support of North Dakota, provides peers with a North Dakota-based network of connection and support. We are integrating and innovating through collaboration. PSAND plans to assist organizations and systems in integrating and utilizing peers. Advancing peer support. PSAN strives to advance the peer workforce to grow its recognition as a valued profession. Voice for peers. PSAN maintains a clear understanding of the needs and the interests of peer workers and acts as a shared voice. So, who are we here for? PSAND is for everyone who believes that peer support makes a difference in people's lives. Peer support specialists, prospective peer specialists, peer supervisors, allies of peer support, and agencies that utilize peer support services. And I'm sorry, I can't see the bottom of that.
Oh, so it says who's in the room today?
Oh, sure. So, since there are only 10 of us, I do think it's a good idea to introduce ourselves, and I will start with myself. Like I said, I'm Bonnie Riley. I am located at First District Health Unit in Minot. I am the peer support, and I'm also a tobacco cessation coordinator. I'm in long-term recovery. I actually just celebrated 30 years of recovery. So I will move this on. Thank you.
I will go next, given I didn't fully introduce myself in the beginning. So, Andrea Hochhalter, I am a trained peer support specialist. I work for PSAND as a project director for our work, and I am located in the Fargo office. My lived experience is with supporting family members with serious mental illness, and I myself have a brain injury. So, welcome everybody. Um, Tamara?
I'm Tamara Heesers. I'm Executive Director of Peer Vision for Mental Health in Minot, and I work as the peer specialist at the Harmony Center. And I have lived experience of mental health concerns through most of my life. And so that's my passion is addressing mental health concerns. And I'm on the board of PSAND.
You want me?
Dustin, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Hi, I'm Dustin Eddy. I'm a peer support specialist here in Bismarck at West Central Human Service Center. I've been here for 2.5 years. First found out about peer support through Recovery Reinvented, which is coming up next week or the week after, soon. I'm glad to be here, and I'm also on the board of the Peer Support Association of North Dakota. How about next, Darcy?
Hi, I'm Darcy Severson. I'm the lead operation officer at Community Action. I, as well as am a certified peer support. My lived experience is mental health, along with dealing with a lot of family members with addiction and mental health issues. And I am on the board as well. Let's see, who can I pick on? Who do we have from Dakota Recovery Center?
I am Roberta. I I don't know how to switch that. I'm on my work laptop, so. But I am Roberta Richter. I am the recovery coordinator for now at the Recovery Center in Minot. I did just get a promotion to supervisor at one of our transitional living houses, so I am excited about that. I am also certified peer support, and I'm going to continue to keep my certification up because it's a huge asset in our field. So, I have lived experience with mental health and then family with addiction. So, yeah, that's me, Roberta.
Calvin, go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. This is Calvin Samick from Fargo. I am a peer support specialist at Southeast Human Service Center, as well as just in everyday life. My lived experience is with chemical dependency, depression, anxiety, being a family member or a loved one of someone with an addiction, as well as being a brain injury survivor. So I'm like a triple winner, all the way along. And also, just dealing with the behavioral health system, and mental health system in a whole. So, and then of course, the one that we can all say we are, and that is a birth survivor. Anyways, I'll pass on to what's that last person's name? S. Horowitz. Who is that? Go ahead, S.
Who's that? Hi, my name is Saul. I work in North Central Human Services. What do I joined late, so what are we doing? Just kind of introductions? Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm an employee. I'm a peer support specialist now since March here at North Central in Minot. I had been working for them for a year, for about 13 years, driving the druggy buggy, the van that brings our treatment clients from the residential units. Been in recovery, been in sobriety, been clean for 26 years. And yeah, like I said, since March, I've been a peer support specialist.
Katie, do you want to go next?
Oh, I suppose. I'm Katie. I also work at North Central. I've been a peer support specialist since January, certified peer support since January. My lived experience is strictly mental health. I have significant trauma in my past and family members with addiction. And that's about all I got.
Thanks. Jackie, do you want to go next?
Whoops.
Sure. My name is Jacqueline Juvrud. I was formerly the recovery coordinator at Mountain Brook in Grand Forks. Since then, I'm starting a small business called Healing Horizons, and it's got 3 focus areas: mental health and wellness, peer support, and community education. And it's kind of starting to go. Working on being functional. I have 30 plus years of mental health experience. I'm discovering the impacts trauma has had on my life. So I've been back in therapy lately, just kind of working through stuff. But I look at life, if life is a mix, then that's good, because if you can find at least one good thing in your day, it's not all bad. So do what we can, write out the bad days, celebrate the good days, and that's kind of how I roll.
Thanks. It looks like Mandy's left there. Are you speaking, Mandy? Because you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you.
Okay. I'm Mandy Waldko. I am a peer support specialist at North Central, also supervisor for peer support team. I have been doing individual and group peer support for about 3.5 years now.
Thank you. I think that's everybody.
Yep, I think so. Andrea, are you talking? Because you're muted.
Haha, guilty. All right. So for today's objective, so for the next 45 minutes or so, roughly here, you're going to learn about CredibleMinds, about the tool, the resource, the platform, how to access it, and how to use it and what you may use it for yourself or for others. As a peer support specialist, you can think about using it for your work with others. We have Amy here, who is an expert on the tool, who's going to teach us about how we can use it to support others as well too. Before I switch over to Amy, we're going to go on to her slide deck here and have her share and spend the time on CredibleMinds. Before this session, can you type into the chat yes or no? Yes, I knew about CredibleMinds before today, or no, this is my very first time ever learning anything about CredibleMinds. So just type into the chat a yes or no. Yes, I knew about it prior. No, I did not. Curious about the awareness, because I just learned about it and I think it's amazing. All right, I will stop sharing, and Amy, I will let you do a big introduction of yourself here and start sharing your deck.
And let me just say too, it's looking like a lot of people have not heard about this yet. So this is great that we're passing on the information.
Okay, so I am Amy Silvan Miranda. I work at First District Health Unit along with Bonnie. I have been working here for approximately just over a year. I've been in Minot for over 3 years. I'm coming into my 4th winter. Woohoo. And I am a military spouse. I am a dog mum. And my lived experience is that I have struggled with mental health most of my life. And I do have found who struggle with addiction, unfortunately. So that is a little bit about me. Oh, and the biggest thing that people always ask is, where am I from? Obviously not Minot. I'm from Cambridgeshire, England. My husband is a dual national. He is half English, half American, and he decided to join the American Air Force. So he told me we'd move somewhere really fun. And here we are in Minot, really fun. No, I like it here, so we're good. So today I'm just going to be giving a little bit of an introduction to Credible Minds. I know some of you said that you have already used it before, which is amazing. And if you have any questions, please stop me, or if there's any little tips or tricks or things that you've learned that you would like to share with the group, please go ahead and share. But I'm going to give it from the First District's perspective. So I'm from First District. We are currently, our main office is in Minot, North Dakota, and we serve 7 counties. So we serve Burke, Bottineau, McHenry, McLean, Renville, Sheridan, and Ward County. We are a public health unit here. We do a lot. We go from environmental health services such as water testing all the way through to health promotions, nursing, harm reduction. We have a lot of different services here that we provide. And we recently partnered with CredibleMinds this year. So why am I not presenting? There we go.
Excuse me just a second. Andrea, are you able to turn on closed captioning from your end of it? We've had a request.
With my accent, it might come crazy. You might get some weird closed captions, but can I do it from my end?
I tried to get it, but I don't know if Andrea, are you the only one that can do that?
I don't know how to do that. Let me know when you want me to proceed.
Oh, there it is. It's on.
Is it on?
It's on.
I can't see it, but okay. So, as I said, these are the 7 counties that we serve. I'm in Ward here in the middle. And the reason we started partnership, we partnered with CredibleMinds is back in 2022, towards the end of COVID. We performed focus groups in our 7 counties. They were either in person or they were on Zoom, but we met with stakeholders in each of the counties and we asked them what they really need from us, what we could do to help them live happier and healthier lives. So one thing that kept coming up again and again and again was a lack of mental health resources in our communities. And we see that nationally, internationally. There is unfortunately a shortage of mental health providers. And that's the same back in England too. The wait lists are sometimes long. It's hard to get in to see their providers. And then the resources, we did some research and we tried to bring credible, validated, and accessible resources to our community. And that's when we partnered with CredibleMinds. So we actually partnered with CredibleMinds the beginning of this year, but we launched to the public in April in Public Health Week. We did almost an internal test run with our staff first to see how it would go down and familiarize ourselves with the platform before we pushed it out to the public. So yeah, I just wanted to share the message and the mission and how it can help you as peer support specialists, how it can help your clients, how it may help yourself. You may be able to use it, how it may help families and friends. I just wanted to make sure, share a little bit of my expertise. So at the end of the day, hopefully you guys are all experts too. So the mission of CredibleMinds is to provide and empower all people with the opportunity to take charge of their own mental health. Some statistics here from a study that was performed and what really aided in the conceptualizing CredibleMinds. So 1 in 5 US adults experience mental illness each year. The biggest one that I focus on this slide that I found most shocking was the average delay between onset of mental illness symptoms and treatments is 11 years. So that's from your first panic attack, your first any sort of symptom that could be attributed to mental illness, and going and seeking professional help. That time delay is 11 years. So things can deteriorate quickly, and 11 years is a long time. So that's one of the reasons why CredibleMind was created. 55% of US counties don't have a single practicing psychiatrist, and at least 8.4 million people in the US provide care to an adult with mental or emotional health issues. And this slide is a little bit more behind the why of why CredibleMinds was created. So NACCHO, the National Association of County and City Health Officials, partnered with CredibleMinds to create what's called a behavioral 360. And the aim of that program was to combat the country's mental health crisis. Of the statistics on the screen here, the two that I focus on the most is that 75% of people who attempt to work on their mental health do it themselves first. So this can look very different for different people, but this may be a simple Google search. This may be YouTubing, for example, how to cure anxiety in 5 minutes or something like that. This is typically people will go and try and do it themselves first. There's many reasons for that. There's lots of barriers. It may be that they're underinsured or uninsured. They don't have the time. They don't have the access, the stigma. There's many reasons why people do it by themselves first. But the next statistic is the most shocking, is that 95% of the self-help that these people find. So there's 75% of people that go and look, 95% of what they find is not validated in any way. So it hasn't been proofread by a mental health professional. It hasn't been fact checked or source checked. It has just been published and there for people to consume and use. So it's not always beneficial. I could post something about depression and you have no way to know that it was done by a mental health professional or not. So the key features of CredibleMinds, and I will kind of zone in on these more when we do the tour of the platform after the presentation, but it provides brief, scientifically validated assessments covering many different topics from sleep, medication, substance abuse, resilience, etc. It's adaptable to different learning styles. There's 16,000 different resources, and this includes videos, books, apps, podcasts, online programs. So everyone has different learning styles. Some people prefer to read, some people prefer to watch videos. I prefer podcasts, so that's nice for me that I can listen to podcasts, but it's got different resources on there for everybody, regardless of your learning style. Very similar to the App Store and Google Play, it has user ratings, so it has those 5 stars, and it shows how beneficial users have found it or how highly experts rate this based off what it's related to. So for example, if you're looking at a list of resources related to anxiety, experts can say, we're going to give this a 5. It's an amazing resource. So they may give it a 4, but it may not help everybody. Maybe it's not as relatable to everybody. So you can kind of get a gist of how beneficial the resources are. There's more than 200 mental health and well-being topics, including evidence-based approaches. And the web-based platform is available 24/7 at no cost to the user. So the picture here, you can kind of see it on the phone, and you can also see it on a computer. So you can go access it anywhere that you have access to the internet. So if you're on an iPhone, you can just go to Safari. Samsung, you can just go to Google. If you're on a computer, you can just go to whatever. You've got Internet Explorer, etc. And you can just type in, I'll show you a little bit about this later, but you can type in CredibleMinds with the URL and you will be able to access CredibleMinds, and it's free. You can access it anytime, any place. You can use it it's international, so anyone can access it, regardless of location. So the key messages that CredibleMind conveys is that you are not alone, you have choices, you can trust the resources that are on there, and it's more than just mental health. It is a full well-being, emotional and spiritual toolkit, and it has topics that relate to a huge array of not only mental health problems, but also empowerment, leadership, self-growth. And we can touch on that later as well. So this slide shows the trending topics that CredibleMind is currently seeing. So this is what people are searching. So this kind of highlights how diverse the platform is, because you have mental health conditions such as anxiety and depression, which are very prevalent in the population today, unfortunately. But you also have things that are maybe not as prevalent, or maybe you wouldn't assume would be searched as much, such as work-life balance or exercise and body movement, meditation, sleep quality, etc. So these are the trending topics at the moment. And then the next slide, what I have taken a screenshot is of the topics or resources you may find beneficial to discuss with your clients and the people you're supporting. So I know a lot of people are in peer support for a variety of issues and a variety of different circumstances. So these are just a screenshot of some of them. It's not an exhaustive list by any means. There's over 200 topics, but these are just ones that I thought may be beneficial in discussions, just to make you aware that these are, and you may be thinking of some of your clients that you know deal with some of these situations or some of these problems that you may be able to talk to them about. So we've got things such as incarceration and reentry, diversity and equity, trauma, domestic violence, PTSD, living with disabilities, addiction and recovery. So this is just, like I said, some of the topics. And then this is some of the assessments that I briefly discussed earlier. So I just kind of wanted to, again, I can show this when we go on the tour, but I just kind of wanted to show some of the topics or assessments that you may be able to discuss with your people that you're supporting. So we've got an example of: have past events left you with PTSD? Is your substance use harmful? And our most in-depth and robust assessment is the mental health platform. I'm very conscious I keep saying our, it's not mine, or it's not First District's, it is CredibleMinds, but because we're partnered with them and because I talk about it so much, I didn't make these. I wish I could take the credit for making these, but unfortunately I didn't. And then underneath,
Amy,
go ahead.
Did you want to touch base about like if you once you get into a topic, you might see some more topics in there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So on here, these topics, these are set defined topics. So they have 200 set defined topics, but that does not mean that there isn't literature or resources regarding other topics. So we had a brief meeting before, and someone asked, is there a topic for homelessness? And there isn't a set topic such as one of these. You'll see more when I show you what a topic looks like, but it's like a little square and you can click into it and it has some information and it has resources. But you can also search based off anything. So we searched homelessness, and I think 421 resources came up. So even if you don't find a set topic for it, you can search pretty much anything, and you should find a topic that closely aligns to it or relates to it in some way. So just because it's not a topic doesn't mean that there wouldn't be resources on there. I did do an exercise one time where I said, shout a topic out and I will search it for you. And someone shouted schizophrenia, and I was like, I cannot spell that. Can someone shout one that's easier for me to spell? So there are a lot of topics for a lot of things. So back to the assessments, the two screenshots at the bottom, they show you kind of what the answers look like. I'm sure most people have been to the doctors and they have been asked questions before. The assessments kind of use a similar format, in the fact that they will say, how many times in the last month have you felt little or no motivation to do things, or you haven't wanted to do certain things? So the algorithm is very similar to those questions. And then in terms of results, you get like a page with results. And I took a couple of screenshots of a assessment that I did very randomly. And it gives you kind of a score almost. So you can see on the left, possible anxiety symptoms. It put me at 50 halfway through. And then it says, based off your responses, you may be experiencing anxiety symptoms. The higher you score, the more severe your symptoms. And then based off my responses, it gives me very personal recommendations. So based off my answers, it's saying that I would benefit from these. Again, this is a screenshot. There was a lot more resources, but you can see that on the anxiety one, they've got a video, they've got a book, they've got an article, and they've got a podcast. So there's a little button to move across or view all. So depending on how you learn, there's lots of different resources on there. And again, with the depression symptoms, based off the answers I gave, I was a lot higher on that one. So based off your answers, you may be experiencing depression symptoms. You can get different responses based off your answers. If the answers are if you answer and the algorithm is very concerned, we have seen where it has asked you to call the crisis line to talk to somebody immediately based off the answers. We have also seen it that it recommends you go and seek help with a mental health provider. It doesn't diagnose, it cannot diagnose. It is just a computer. It doesn't have that person element to it, but it can give you an idea of where to start. If this is somebody's first step and they are struggling, but they don't know why, or they don't know what's happening, this can be a first step, and you can just learn more about your mental health profile. Then I also screenshot this because as peer support specialists, I'm aware your job can be stressful. You can work long hours. You can sometimes internalize maybe what other people are going through, and it can just be a stressful occupation. So there is also resources on there to help yourself personally too. So this is professional caregiving. Again, there's other resources. I just screenshot this one. But we've got conquering burnout, how to avoid burnout as a caretaker, burnout resiliency, caring for loved ones. Again, there's a lot more like preventing compassion fatigue, but I could only screenshot so much. Then there's also an assessment, is caring for others taking a toll on yourself? And then there's lots of apps as well that was recommended. And this was the top rated app that was on there, but there was lots of different apps on there. So up here on the left, you can also see personalized. So you can personalize what you're seeing in terms of professional caregiving. And again, I can show that when we go a little bit more onto the tour. These are the benefits of CredibleMind. So we've got self-empowerment. You can take charge of your own mental health with a free and confidential platform that you can use 24/7. You can understand and learn about your mental health. You can understand your unique strengths and challenges by taking those comprehensive assessments. You can learn new skills such as mindfulness practice, stay more focused at work, be a better friend, learn how to support others as well as yourself. And there's resources for everybody. CredibleMind and myself, and hopefully everybody else, we believe mental health and well-being resources should be available for everybody, no matter their age, race, gender, income, any defining characteristics. So with CredibleMinds, when I go on there again, I'll show you how someone can sign up. There are benefits to signing up. So anybody can access it anonymously. They can use it as a guest. It is anonymous if you sign up as a guest. But there are benefits of signing up. So if you sign up and you register for an account, you can, it kind of picks up where you left off. You can save and track your assessment results. So as I showed you on a previous slide, I got a score of 83 for depression. What you can do is you can use some resources. Your clients can use some resources. They can talk to you. You can do some work together. They potentially see a mental health provider, whatever it is. And then in 6 months, 3 months, they can come back and they can see how it's progressed, how they have, the score maybe has gone down or even, unfortunately, maybe gone up.
Amy, question for you on that. I think it's super cool that it has that kind of, intelligence, behind it, to track your information as well, too. You said that it will kind of serve up what it thinks you need based upon what you're entering as well too. So every time I log in, there might be something that's more prevalent or based upon whatever I viewed last time. Is that correct?
Correct. So it's very similar to, I'm sure most of us have Facebook. Facebook learns what you're looking at. If you're spending a lot of time looking at puppies, it's going to show you videos of puppies more and more and more. If you are on CredibleMind and you are spending a lot of time looking at anxiety, depression, OCD, addiction and recovery, it is going to show you, it is going to send you in your email resources specifically on those resources. It's going to learn what you're relating to longer, like what you're watching longer, or maybe you're relating to more. It will learn about you. It's a very smart engine, and it will be able to give you more personalized recommendations based off you signing in and using it again and again, based under the same logging. The only so we with First District, we have some benefits on if people sign up. We can see aggregated data. It's HIPAA compliant. We can't see people's names, email addresses, age, anything like that. All we can see is what people are looking at in our community. We can see age groups, we can see gender, and we can see topics. We don't see anything in terms of any personal data. So it's I get a report. I can pull a report whenever I want, and it's very basic in what I can see. So it'll say this percent is this age group, this percent is this age group, and it helps First District because if we can learn from it, and so can other organizations and members of the community, and we frequently release our reports so people can see our reports. Like we create a report for our Board of Health. Anything we create is public, people can see it. It's and what we do is we see what people in our community are looking at. So if people are looking at, let's say our last report, we had a lot of youth. Our highest users were youth from the age of 13 to 17, I believe. And they were looking at vulnerability and anxiety. So we can learn from what people are looking at, and we can base our services and we can tailor our services better by seeing what people in our community are looking at. Mental health is a very personal situation. Not a lot of times people share. So especially with public health, we aren't that provider or mental health professional. So it's very important that we can learn from that. So if, say, for example, we see a large percentage of our elderly population are looking at loneliness, maybe then we can start looking at potentially doing, I don't know, like a coffee morning where we can invite people in our population and we can try and combat some of that loneliness. So that's how we're First District benefits. It's free, like I said. We don't get any money. CredibleMinds, we have already partnered with them, so it's completely free to the end user. There's no cost or anything to the end user. And then, but like I said, you can use it anonymously. Sorry, people.
Amy,
Go
Amy,
ahead.
I just want to comment. I love that the youth have picked this up. I think it's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of our biggest age ranges are youth. I've been going to schools and I've been going to different places to make sure that youth are sometimes a little bit private and they like to hide things. And I like to know that if they are looking at resources, they're looking at ones that are actually legitimate and they're not looking at things that could cause further harm. So, yeah, definitely youth are picking up on it. CredibleMinds are really great that they do some targeted promotion for us. So they do some things on YouTube, they do some things on social media. So the youth have picked up on it and they're sharing it and they're using it. So it's a huge benefit for sure. And then these are our promotional materials. These are what we hand out at First District Health Unit. We have the flyer on the left, which I can share with everybody after if it gets sent out. And then we also created our own little business card for CredibleMinds. So this is specifically our CredibleMinds. So when I say our, I just wanted to touch on that. So basically, different organizations can partner with CredibleMind. We've partnered with CredibleMind on behalf of our 7 counties that we serve. Doesn't mean anybody else in the country can't use our URL, which is down here on the left, fdhu.crediblemind.com. Anyone can use it. But we get aggregated data for our community based off IP address, etc. Different places, different organizations in North Dakota have also partnered with CredibleMinds. And I've got some of the websites on the next page. So First District is ours. Fargo, Cass have their own. Upper Missouri have their own. You can use any of these. They're all going to have the same CredibleMind resources. They are just going to differ in terms of personalization. And I'll show you that personalization specifically later. but these are our promotional resources. You can still share these with your clients or whoever you feel appropriate, or you can get, if you're closer to Fargo or closer to Upper Missouri, you can reach out to them and see if they have resources with their URL that you can share, because it would benefit them more to receive your aggregated data than what it would benefit us. But CredibleMinds is CredibleMinds regardless of what URL you use. The topics, the resources, everything is the same. The only thing that's different is the personalization. So you can still use ours. That's fine. So like I said, these are the URLs. They just differ depending on your acronym at the front. And then I will pause here to see if anybody has any questions before I run with the tour. I see the chat has been having some chatting.
Yeah.
I just want to comment quick. So I use Credible Minds every week on Wednesdays and Thursdays. I'm in the syringe service program, which is the needle exchange. And I don't know how everybody else does like intakes or anything, but every single person that comes in, they get the flyer. And then we have little cards too, and they all have the QR code on it. And these clients absolutely love this program. So there's so many topics that they can relate to. So yeah, this is good. I use this all the time. I just wanted to say that.
Bonnie, do you ever sit down with a person, side by side and
Yeah.
assist them? Oh, so you do. Okay, so you sit
Yeah.
with them side by side, accessing, not logging and signing up, maybe picking
So
some of their
we haven't gone as far as having to log in, but we do our services, we do the needle exchange, and then if I need to do more resources for them, like get them, set up with Medicaid, or like a lot of my people are homeless, and so we'll talk about that, and then we talk about the Credible Minds. We haven't gone as far as signing them up, but I have no problem doing that. It's pretty easy. So. But these people love this. I mean, while we're sitting in the room and they're, getting their HIV or Hep C pokes, they look through the sheet and they're pretty impressed, and they love the QR code. It's so easy.
And the QR code takes them to just the main site.
Yeah, so if you scan the QR code, I will go to it now. So this is exactly where it will take you. I'm wondering if my screen will change. Let me share to the other screen now. Here.
I can totally see, so, the resources, I'm only looking at this for, basically the first time. If I, were trying to better understand some of the challenges, as somebody I'm working with is experiencing, I have my own experience, and maybe I don't have, I'm seeking more understanding how this could really help me with connecting, and maybe then help them navigate as well too.
Absolutely. So there are a huge array of mental health problems, mental health symptoms, different issues that people may be experiencing in their life. If, for example, you come across something that you may not be have 100% like loads of experience in, or you're not 100% sure on how to have those discussions, you can come in here and you can search and you can learn a little bit more. The resources on here have got topics with experts, articles. They're credible, so they go to the right websites. They aren't going to take you anywhere where you might learn misinformation. Yeah, that's always a way to benefit yourself and then also benefit the people that you're supporting. So say, for example, I'll do a search, I'll go through it more shortly, but say, for example, you had somebody who had like bipolar disorder. That is often one that's quite misunderstood as well. You can go on here and you can read a little bit about it. And down here, we've got understanding bipolar disorder. So if you have somebody that you would like to help, you can read this article, you can listen to a video podcast to be able to better support the people that you're supporting.
And I use this also, like you were saying, it's not just for clients, it's for ourselves. And I mean, personally, I use it on the grief and loss. And I like the idea that I could do it on my own time and in private. And it really helped me. And I also love the videos in there.
Yeah, I just did a research on traumatic brain injury, TBI. That's my experience. And so I did find some resources on that.
So there's lots of different topics. So I'll kind of just give a quick tour. So this is our homepage. You've got like the mental health check-in, a very quick mental health assessment. That's the one that I showed the screenshots of the scores that I got, and then a couple of trending topics. And then you can kind of scroll down. You can see the collections for October. This will change every month. They have the trending topics that I discuss, and then also different insights and news updates. If you go across the top here, we've got our topics first. If you know what you're looking for, you can type it up here, but you can also kind of look just to familiarize yourself with what topics are on there so you can better support. I could go through this list, but we would be here till 12 p.m. tomorrow. But it's very diverse. There is a lot on here. So we've got, for example, eating disorders, body image. That's a huge thing for youth these days with social media. We've got ADHD, goal setting, living with chronic pain, community building, depression in young adults, financial wellness. I mean, I could keep going, but gut health and microbiome, seasonal affective disorder. We're coming into winter now, and we're not going to be getting so much vitamin D. So there is really a huge array of different topics that can be on here for different people. We've got recovery programs, lots of different topics. And just because, like I said, there isn't a topic here doesn't mean you can't find something relating to that. So as we said, homelessness earlier, if I search, 410 resources found. So you can go through here and you can have a look. And I think I saw somebody in the chat said that they searched like vision.
Yeah, blind was the word I think Calvin said he searched. He wasn't sure if he was in CredibleMinds though or not at the time.
Oh, okay. So this looks like it's more using vision in a different kind of way.
Sure. Because you said there's leadership tools as well. So
Yeah,
I think vision, it could also lead to leadership resources.
yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's lots of leadership resources on there as well. Then the assessments that I talked about, there's quite a few on here with different topics. I already dove into a few of them, but we've got like, are your worry days a sign of anxiety? That's based off first districts, that's one of our most taken assessments. And are your off days a sign of depression? That is another one of our most taken assessments. And then you've got the mental health check-in that I discussed, the 12-minute assessment up here, the most in-depth one. And I can click into one of these very quickly and kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. It's very user-friendly. In general, I consider myself not a happy person, and you kind of work your way down. And you just, this one is estimated to take 12 minutes. Personally, it didn't take me 12 minutes, but it depends how long you take to answer the questions and to give your answers. The Learning Lab is a new feature. This is one that I've been using recently, and it's kind of like series and different practices that are on here. So the series that I've done recently was managing social media, and I'll use that one as an example. You go in and it gives you kind of a guided what to watch next, what to do next, and it takes you step by step.
Amy, are we able to print anything out of there?
I don't think you can share. I think I may have just opened my email. You can print the screen. You can take a screenshot. You can print the screen just as you would any other web page, but you can't like download it as a PDF and
So Amy,
do
we
it like
have
that.
about 10 minutes left, and so I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to share any last, thoughts or information with
Okay.
us. But I want to allow some time for questions and conversation.
Okay, I'll just show two last important things.
Okay.
So one is this need help now button. We are aware that as you guys are aware, in mental health emergencies, people need talking to people can be very beneficial. So we've got the need help now button that has the crisis support lines and text lines and chat online, and it has lots of different ones on here. So you can also, if people that you're supporting don't know these numbers, you can always show them that this list here. And then we also have, this is how you would join or sign in. So I just wanted to quickly show you if you are going to be helping anybody, you're going to go just click up here and join now. You do need to have an email address. If you don't have an email address, again, you can do it as a guest. You're just not going to have those benefits of signing in. So if I quickly, I'm scared that I'm going to try and find one that someone else has used, but not actually sign up. Okay, so that's somebody's email. It's not mine. So I won't actually sign up because I don't want them to get emails. But once you've typed in an email, you will just put your name, first name, last name, age, gender, and how you identify, and you choose a password. If people are very concerned about privacy but still want to use it, they can use a pseudonym or use whatever name they would like to use. They don't have to put their gender, they prefer not to say. So you can give as much information as you wish. Again, you're giving an email address anyway, so people who are signing up maybe won't be as worried. But again, you can use this whole platform. Oh, that's our website. You can use this whole platform as a guest. There's just those benefits here if you sign up. There's nothing stopping people still using it. And in a nutshell, that is, oh, the last thing, sorry, it's 3, I lied. The community resources that I mentioned here, this is the one customizable page that will differ depending on where you're going. If you go to Upper Missouri's CredibleMind page, it will have their logo here and it will have a different community resource page. If you go to Fargo Cass, it will have their logo and their community resources. These are resources that will benefit our community. They're in Minot, Ward County, or they're in the communities we serve. If you're in Fargo, like I said, using the Fargo Cass one will probably be most beneficial because they will then see resources that are relevant to them and not Minot resources or Ward County resources. So these are resources that if people have taken assessments and they have, it says go see a mental health provider, or they want to take that next step themselves and see a mental health provider, they can click on one of these resources and it will just take them directly to that web page. And then they can take the next step from there. So that is the customizable aspect. Everything else, the topics, the assessments, Learn Lab, everything else is the same. So if you can't get any promotional, I'm sure they have the exact same flyer with theirs at the bottom because we got that from CredibleMind. But if you can't access them or find them, you can still use ours. It's just make them aware that those community resources probably won't be accessible to them depending on where they are. And now I'm done.
Thank you. That was awesome. A lot of information. I'm blown away about this resource being available, and I had no knowledge about it. And so I, found the one for Fargo, Cass County. I put the link for the Fargo Cass County one in there, but I'm like, how come I don't know about this? This is huge. So I hope other people are finding that as well too. What other thoughts or questions, do people have or considerations, things you want to share? Go ahead and jump in at this point in time and I'll look through the chat.
I was wondering how would we go about getting Bismarck, Burley, Morton County all involved?
I would go to your public health unit and I would ask them if they have maybe already considered it, or if they're considering it, bring it to them as a resource. We learned about it at a conference and then we set up a demo and we went through that. If they want to meet with somebody here at First District, myself or somebody else, to just see how it's working for us and see what benefits it could bring to them and their community, then I'm sure we can arrange something like that. But I would take it to your public health unit for sure.
Okay, thank you.
You see, Amy, I'm going to go ahead and share back to the PSAND deck.
Go ahead.
Okay. Other thoughts, questions, considerations? So
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to ask the group. So I think there was like 3 people who said yes, they knew about it before. So now, yes or no, can you see yourself using this as a peer support specialist? What do we think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Think it's a great resource to be able to, especially if I could get it tailored to our area, you know. So
Hmm.
Mhm.
as far as like the self mental health assessments and everything like that, I know a lot of time everybody's busy, so being able to
Hmm.
have something we could go to right away, oh, let's check this out or get involved and linked up into that. Sounds like a great
Absolutely.
resource.
And using it for ourselves as well, too, for that self-care, component of it. And I think important is when we have such a powerful resource is understanding how we use the tool and don't cross any lines. We're not clinicians, so this tool is not giving an official diagnosis, and it's not, our job as a peer then to play a clinician role. But how do we help navigate with the resources that are available, locally, as our peer role. So that certainly crossed my mind as well too. Hmm.
And
Other
what's
thought?
nice is that if you do have people in your community, so for example, people in Fargo, I know here at First District, we go and we present to different groups. So I have personally gone and presented to peer support groups and let peer support let clients know about it join those groups. And then I've even had people that have learnt about it in that one meeting and then have asked me to come to a lot of different organizations that they are also a part of. So it's very nice to once you start, the word spreads and people get involved and people are very happy with it here that I have presented to so far, and it is getting used. So, yeah, the more we tell people about it, it's free, it's resources for them. That's exactly, we want people to use resources that will help.
Thank you. So Tamara did put into the chat the link for the CEUs, but I will also pull it up here in the PowerPoint that we're sharing. A quick mention that the next event is Friday, January 17th for the Lunch and Learn. We believe that is going to be on implicit bias. We're working with our presenters on that. We have a military endorsement training available. If you are in the areas of Bismarck or Minot, we do have peer support networks that meet on a regular basis. And the contact information for that is with Dustin and Tamara. So if you want to get involved, you just want to show up, you want to see what it's about, there's the contact information for Dustin and for Tamara for those local network meetings. If you are interested in starting a local network meeting in your city, in your region, reach out to Dustin or Tamara as well too, and they'll help you with how to get started in setting up a local network for Peer Support Association. Quick mention is Recovery Reinvented is coming up in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks. And PSAND is super excited that we are hosting a reunion for peer support specialists the evening before. So Tuesday, the 29th from 7 to 9 in Bismarck at the Hub location. We have just an open house opportunity where, for all peers that are in attendance or anybody in attendance for Recovery Invented to come find one another or reconnect, meet up, and we have a place to do that. So it's just a free show up. I do understand there's a couple giveaways, so there's a little incentive for coming because there's a couple of giveaways that are involved with that too. And then okay, I'm gonna get to here we go. The CEU information again, which was put into the chat. Okay, this is how you can get those CEUs. You will need the keyword credible when completing that CEU. Okay. Wow, that was awesome. Closing thoughts, questions for Amy? Thank you for sharing your knowledge. We know that we've heard you're moving on to a new role within the district, and so I'm so glad we got you while we could to present on this, your expertise. Thanks for being a resource to us.
Thank you very much. This is my last presentation, so we ended on a high. And
Yay!
I've put my email in the chat if anyone has any questions. you can still email me regardless of if I'm working on this program or not. I've had a lot of experience with it, so I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. For those of you that want to stay on the Zoom, we'll stop the recording and we will keep the line open for just casual connections and conversations. So if you want to visit with other peers on any, certain topics to share, to get some, insight and use peers as resources, we're going to keep the line open for a while just to do that for some casual conversation and connections. But our official presentation is over. Yeah.
Thanks, Amy. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you for having me.